Well, it is a hot day, but we're carrying on with the Hilux. Got the second coat of rust encapsulator on now. Also taped up the sides and the back so that I could spray those with rust encapsulator, because I wanted these bits black because I thought it'd look better. And there was a little bit of corrosion on this lip, so I sprayed that as well. I had a little repair to do on this side. Basically, some numpty at some point in its life, whoever fitted the tow bar electrics, that hole there, I've made it slightly neater. It was literally, it was almost as if they took a screwdriver and just punched a hole through to get the wire through for the electrics. Didn't put a grommet in, and water had obviously got in there, and it basically sits in that bottom bit there and just starts rotting it out. So I had a little repair, and when I put the electrics back in, I'll put a proper grommet in and seal it up as well. So I've just got to let this dry up a little bit, and then I can remove the plastic, take the floor out, and get inside and spray the top half with its second coat, and then we're done for rust encapsulator. And the next stage will be the 2-pack 2K Raptor liner, truck and bed liner basically, but it's a 2K, so it's got a separate hardener, so that should be nice and durable. That's the same as what I did the axle with. So we've done up to this cross member here, just gone beyond it a little bit, so when I do the front, I've got this kind of zone where I can overlap it all. But like I say, that's in line. Actually, it's about in line with the door handle there on the front of the car, so yeah, it's about halfway. So I shall let this dry up a bit and then get back to spraying the inside bit. It's been a couple of days since I did the 2 coats of rust encapsulator, and we've now got the first coat of the Raptor liner on, and this is it's had about 60 minutes to dry, and I'm going to put the second coat on in a minute. That's looking rather splendid. Right, I'm going to get set up and get the second coat on. And that's the second coat applied. I just took off the taped up areas. Still a little bit tacky. It's only been about 20 minutes. Not sure how well this is showing up because it's black. Oh, there we go. Camera's just adjusted itself. There we go. I'm going to let that dry for 4 or 5 days to fully harden before I start assembling anything onto it, because obviously otherwise it's still a bit soft and there's a risk of chipping it or catching it. So give it 4 or 5 days, and then we'll start assembling the fuel tank, I think, first, then the axle and the new link bars and things like that. Start getting everything back on the car. Okay, I've been doing some more things on Hilux, and I've got the new brake line made up, and I made a new bracket, and that goes in there like so. And you'll see I've got the fuel tank on and part of the fuel delivery pipe. I took a bit of time before I did the fuel tank just to run a tap through there and at the other end where the 3 bolts are that hold it on, just to clean out the threads. And put a new breather pipe on, vent pipe, and cleaned this thing up. Not sure what it is, but it's going back on. It was meant to clip onto there, but the clip's broke, so I need to figure something out for that. I got the bump stops back on, and this afternoon's job, crawl out from under here, is to get the axle rolled up and back under the truck, ready to start sort of connecting it back up. The downside is the axle's down here in the garage, which probably doesn't show up much on camera, but this is a steep hill. And it was fine getting the axle down there because it was downhill, and also there was 2 of us. But my better half is incapacitated at the moment. She's done her ankle in, so I've got to try and get this rather heavy axle up there on my own. Thing is, you need 2 people because you push it one side, it will just go around in a circle. Right, let's see what we can do. Well, that was harder than it probably looked. It's really hard getting traction. I'm only little, and this thing weighs more than me, so it was pushing me downhill. But I got it done, so now I'll just get it sort of into position, and then start connecting the upper and lower link arms, stabilizer, anti-roll bar, panhard bar, brake line, handbrake cable, all that sort of general stuff. And we're getting there. I'll bring you back when I've got some progress. Alright, we're getting there. I've got the upper and lower link arms in. Panhard bar is in that side, but not this side. I just need to basically lift the axle up a little bit and that'll line up. Got the handbrake cable in, and just sorting out the wiring for the ABS sensors. I remember if they go that way around, so that it would go up here somewhere. Whether they go that way around and go that way somewhere. When I get the rest of the loom threaded back in, I'll suss it out probably. What's next? That'll be shocks and springs. Yeah, probably shocks and springs, then prop, then brake line, something like that. I'll work it out. But definitely getting there. It's nice when it's all clean and new bolts and painted things. It's nice to just do the final assembly. It's quite satisfying after, you know, all the hard, dirty, horrible work of, you know, needle scaling rust off and wire wheeling everything and corrosion and all of that. You know you're on the home run. Right, I'm going to carry on and I'll bring you back when I've got some progress. Right, a bit more progress. I've got link arms on, upper and lower, panhard bar, shocks, springs. What else? Put the fuel pipe, fuel breather on, hose clamps. Everything's just bolted up loosely at the moment, apart from the one bolt for the panhard bar until I lower it down. Just so that everything sort of settles in and locates where it should, and then I'll tighten everything up. Put the loom in for the ABS sensors. Worked out where they went. Having this floor cut out definitely makes getting to those top nuts for the shock absorbers a lot easier. So if you remember, my fuel filler pipe was completely rotted out, so the only bit that was good was the, you know, the top half of it. So hence the new pipe here, which sort of comes to about there. And I think what I'm going to do is get a 45-degree metal pipe. I'll cut a little section off the end of here, so the metal pipe goes in and we'll come up to here, and then that little section I cut off will be the joiner for that. And this is just the breather that I've got to trim down and cut and put onto there. And then I'll just make like a little bracket or something to hold it onto one of the original points. So we're getting there. So I think next I shall tackle doing the exhaust middle bit, get that on. I won't put the back box on until I've done the floor, just because I need as much room as I can to run the sealant round when I seal the floor down for good. What else? Prop, that's got to go on, but I think I need to just rotate, because obviously it's turned because I was, you know, doing stuff with the axle. So I need to have the wheels up off the ground so that I can turn the prop slightly, unless I can put it into neutral or something and do it by hand. I'm not sure, but I'll sort that out. So then it'll be floor and then back box. I'll tighten everything up, and then what I'll do as a final two things to do, obviously get that bolt in for the power bar. Fill up the diff with fluid, and I'll jack the back end of the car up from the pumpkin there, and put axle stands either side. Take the wheels off, and then I'll do all the actual brake adjustment, because I just sort of roughly put the brakes together. I didn't bother doing any adjustments, so you need to kind of do that once the handbrake's all connected. So that and the fluid will be the last two things to do, I think. And then we will just concentrate on getting the bumper finished off and putting these side trims back on here. I'm not too worried about leaving these in this rust encapsulator, because it can be used as a top coat. It won't, you know, seep through or anything. So I'm not too worried about that, because I've got other plans that I want to do with the truck. So that might stay like that. It's not really worth paying for colour match paint when you're going to change stuff up in the future. So get those side trims back on. I need to get these brackets off of these side steps and needle scale and paint those, because these side steps are going back on. But I do want to just, you know, sort those out. Actually, a lot of people change for sort of like rollers, yeah, rockers, yeah, like big thick tubing down the side. So if you're doing off-roading and you're climbing over a rock, you crash down on a hard bit of tubing, you know, you won't damage your truck. I don't actually do that much off-roading, to be honest, if any, not intentionally. I mean, if we go up mountain walks, sometimes there's some really rough tracks, but I certainly don't deliberately go climbing boulders and stuff. Not against it, just don't really do it. So these are fine, because they help you, you know, you can stand on them to get in and stuff like that. So I don't mind keeping those. I might just run a sander over this wing. I dare say if you go at it too hard, it's because it's probably rotted from the inside out, but I might just run a sander over that just to get the loose off, and then stick some rust encapsulated paint on it. Again, most of it's covered by the arch, but this bit and that bit there isn't. But again, I'm not too worried about leaving it in just rust encapsulator. So we've got some plans, so it's probably better to look at buff coloured rust encapsulator than it is rusty wing. So I might tackle that, and that's about it. I shall speak to you in a bit when I've made some more progress. Started sanding away on the front wing, as you can imagine, blew some holes through. So I've just done a temporary, not temporary, but like just a quick repair, because I can't be bothered with it, because I'm going to buy a new wing. So you know, this is, like I said, it's rusted from the inside out. You can see like here where like this skin is kind of rusted through, and you can see the sort of skin behind it as such. It's kind of in layers, but probably there as well. I just whacked a patch in, cut it out, just whacked a patch in. It's not pretty. I've not even bothered to try and make it, you know, sculpt and line up nice. But I'm going to stick some of the rust encapsulator on, a couple of coats of that, which will literally protect it and stop it rusting. I'll see if I can spray a little bit up behind it as well. And then once the wheel arch goes back on, that covers most of it. There's still some bits poking through, but so I'd rather look at rust encapsulator painted onto a wing rather than a rusty hole. It's the least of the two evils, isn't it? So something about rust, especially when it's bright orange, it just looks so, I don't know, unappealing. Now don't get me wrong, I've got a rat rod which is rusty, but it's proper patina rust, you know, when it's gone really dark black. So there's a time and a place for rust. So we shall get some paint on that and make it look a bit better. Got the side steps in the workshop, so I can take these brackets off and paint them. They're originally riveted on. When I got the truck, some of them were loose and broken, so I'd already drilled out and put bolts and washers in. So I'll do the same with those. Whenever I've washed this truck, I've always noticed that there's a load of dirt build up inside these end caps, and you can spray it in there for like, you know, several minutes and it will still be chucking dirt out. So I don't even know if I can get these undone. No, probably not. I might need to take a bit more. I'm going to take these off and see what horrors are underneath there, just for comedic value. They may not even go back on. Damn it, I need a flat screwdriver. Right, I've just prized it off with a flat screwdriver. Are you ready? Oh, didn't realise there was metal in there. Or was metal in there. Oh, that is... there's nothing left of that. Hang on, let's get this. There we go. There we go. I said it was a walk trap. That is just turned to dust. Did it need a piece of metal in there? I mean, can it go back on without metal? Yeah, it can. Because what the hell did that do even? God knows. It's corroded the aluminium a bit. Get a wire wheel on that and see how that comes up. I'll do the others and see what they're like and bring you back, just for fun. Believe it or not, the other side's metal thing is intact. So the one that rotted out was the driver's side rear. So I'm not sure why that was worse than the other. But the front passenger side was just absolutely packed with dirt. I think that's why they've got these kind of slots, because that goes on there like so, and the plastic wheel arch thing goes down and kind of almost locates onto this area. So whether they thought that, you know, if you pressure wash around the wheel arch, it would sort of rinse and run down through there. But obviously it doesn't. Gets clogged. So what I'll probably do is take that metal thing off, because I genuinely can't see why they're there, because it goes directly where the rear wheel arch is, so you're not going to be jumping on the wheel arch. So I have no idea. Clean them up a little bit, and I'll drill out these rivets, get these brackets off and painted, and then they can go back on. This is the aftermath of needle scaling my side step brackets. A couple of them getting a little bit thin. Most of them are alright. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Those two, not so good. So I might put a patch in them. I might just leave them. I don't know. Still enough strength in it. I mean, you've got what, 3 each side. You've got 2 good ones. No, I'll probably put a patch in or something. Right. Sweep up this mess and we'll do some welding. Something like that, I reckon. As if by magic. Something like that. I'll get these welded on. There we go. All done. We'll get some paint on there. And they should last a few more years. Right. I'll bring you back when I've made some progress.